Good afternoon, and thank you so much for joining us for your local coronavirus headquarters. I'm Jordan Fremstead. The U.S. just had its deadliest day in the coronavirus pandemic. 500 people reportedly died from the virus in the last 24 hours, bringing the total nationwide to 3,100 people. The number of total reported cases is 164,000. Elise Preston reports from New York City, the epicenter of the nation's outbreak.
The naval ship Comfort is now docked in New York City's harbor and ready to accept non-coronavirus patients to help relieve overcrowding in hospitals. This was the scene outside NYC Langone Hospital Monday. At least 9 ambulances backed up trying to get patients into the emergency room entrance. National correspondent David Begnaud spoke with Anthony Almohera, who's an EMS lieutenant for the fire department.
I've never seen 7,000 calls in EMS. To give you some perspective, that's more than 9/11. So basically, we've had 9/11 type calls for about 8 days now.
Here in New York City Central Park, this field hospital, built by the charity group Samaritan's Purse and run by Mount Sinai Medical Center, is now accepting coronavirus patients.
10 of those beds are ICU beds. Those will be able to provide for the sickest patients with ventilators and support and management. The rest of the 58 other beds will be patients that are on oxygen, that need therapy, but not quite as severe.
As the virus spreads throughout the country, stay-at-home orders are in effect in 32 states and Washington, D.C. Florida has the 5th highest number of cases in the U.S., and the governor is now weighing what to do with 2 Holland America cruise ships carrying dozens of sick and now 4 deceased passengers. The cruise ships are begging officials to be able to dock in about 2 days.
We would like to have medical personnel simply dispatched to that ship.
Andrea Anderson and her husband Rob have been traveling on the Zandam since March 7th.
I would like to ask Governor DeSantis what his decision would be if his mother was on this ship. How would he feel if another passenger dies because they are not able to receive the proper medical care on the ship that they would have received in the hospital?
There are more than 300 U.S. citizens aboard both ships combined. Elise Preston, CBS News, New York.
Meanwhile, the White House says it will unveil new details about extended social distancing guidelines today. The president says they may be even a little longer. Models which the White House plans to release today show an increase in cases and deaths, even with social distancing in place. Members of the coronavirus task force say they're looking at asking Americans to wear masks. The White House is touting 1 million tests have been performed for the coronavirus in the U.S., but in a conference call Monday, some governors warned more testing is needed in rural areas. The FDA has approved a new test which can detect coronavirus in as little as 5 minutes. 24 deaths and more than 1,200 cases of COVID-19 are being reported in Wisconsin. That's according to Johns Hopkins University. It's an increase of more than 100 since Sunday and includes the first 2 positive cases in Jackson County and the first in Buffalo County. There are still none in Crawford, Trempealeau, and Vernon counties, according to the county health departments as of this morning. Governor Tony Evers and state health leaders say Wisconsin is preparing to open field hospitals in anticipation of a surge in COVID-19 patients. It's similar to what's happening in New York City's Central Park. The number of cases is expected to peak in a week or more in Wisconsin. The state's chief medical officer says that efforts to stay at home are working, but the next 2 weeks will be critical. There are 629 confirmed cases in Minnesota. 12 people have died. There are now 10 in Winona County. That is double the number from yesterday, and still none in Houston County. As for Iowa, there are more than 400 cases. Allamakee County has 7 and 1 death. In Winnebago County, there are 3. 2 new cases have been confirmed in La Crosse County, bringing the total up to 17. One of those is the first person in La Crosse County to be hospitalized from severe symptoms. This is a woman in her 70s. Of those 17 cases, 9 have now recovered, I should say. La Crosse County's health director says a new partnership between public and private groups will help ramp up testing in the state.
So this new partnership now includes lab support from a number of locations, including UW Health, Marshfield Clinic, Promega, and Exact Sciences. And these organizations, along with the Wisconsin Clinical Lab Network, will now share knowledge, resources, and technology to help improve our testing capacity in the state of Wisconsin.
Rumbalski also talked about the county's strategy moving forward to combat the disease. The goal is to keep the number of sick and the number of deaths as low as possible. The University of Wisconsin-Madison expects to lose $100 million because of the coronavirus pandemic, and that's if social distancing is over by June. The loss includes reimbursing students for room and board after the campus closed because of COVID-19. Chancellor Rebecca Blank told the university committee yesterday additional expenses including hiring professional cleaners and buying software licenses and programs to move thousands of courses online. The loss is about 3.2% of UW-Madison's $3 billion budget. Well, plenty of people in our area are rallying to help others, and we would like to hear about your stories. Just go to news8000.com and search Helpers in the search bar at the top of the homepage. That's how you can find out how you can share your stories of helping with us. We want to thank you so much for joining us on this coronavirus update, and you can always get the latest information anytime on our website at news8000.com or download our mobile app. Have a good night.